What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. We had an abrupt stop yesterday.
Is now live. Streaming Genshin Impact, Collision Drops, Collision and Abrupt Interruption, Collision FG, 150.
I didn't actually know that was the collision emote or icon. That was really weird, but it actually kind of works. Weirdly enough, it actually kind of works for today's stream title for whatever reason. Yesterday, yes, we had an abrupt interruption. During the stream, a few of my friends wanted to run some Apex rank, so I left the story halfway, unfortunately. We are still in the process of the story, so as soon as I hit X, we should still be in a cutscene. It'll probably restart from the starting of the cutscene versus where I left off. I am going to take a minute before we come back on, and then we will jump right into the story yet again. How's everyone doing today? It is a Friday on the weekend. And what's the plan? What do you guys have planned for the weekend? Let's do Interruption. Just do a couple of hashtags, why not? Fingers are so big that sometimes I do twatch because it's TWI or TWO sometimes. Weirdly, my fingers are so huge. Okay, I think we should be okay. Okay, let's just jump right into it. We'll pick up right back into the story. Genshin birthday party? Official animation? What?
Hey, you guys, there's a slip of paper over here.
It actually looks pretty. Is this the anime? I don't know if that's actually the trailer for the actual anime. If it actually is, that is pretty good. I actually really like it. Okay, let's do that. Sorry, un momento. Let's go.
It's right over here, and there's a bunch written on it too. It reads, "Out of respect for your usual practices, I'll use a piece of paper or card as the medium to pass on my message. You may consider this as me giving you my best regards.
This is...
Is that all? The badge!
Okay, we pass all of this scene.
This is...
Show me! Now!
That look on your face. Paimon's reading it now. Would you care to guess where Miss Lynette of the Fatui could be right now?
Underwater.
Oh, could she have... Is she already...
Rise.
I highly doubt they'll kill off
Deliberately leave the
Lynette.
infirmary unguarded to use it as bait?
Wait, you mean he was aware of our goals from the very beginning? But why? We didn't run into any trouble last time, and he also never reached out to us since.
I still think
That is a crucial question.
Lenny and Lynette
He doesn't
are
do anything
going
without
to
a clear
be
goal or reason.
the
So this
filler
means he had no
characters
concerns about your
for the
activities from the
two
very
spots
beginning.
that's available
You're not
in the
the same
Fatui
camp as us.
Harbingers.
You were sent down here by Nervulette, so you have no conflict of interest with Risley. We're a completely different story, though. I'd like to know that, too. Why did he only go after her? Don't panic. Just think everything over. I have to stay calm. This is not like what happened last time. The situation's different now.
I think we got to the point where he was talking about Femine. Feminine? Femine?
Wait, you're right. Wait, but that means... The fact that Fremine was able to leave the
Fremine.
grounds, could Risley have let him go as well?
But what does he gain by letting Fremine leave like that?
So he's challenging me and trying to provoke me, I'm sure of it. We never should have sent out Fremine. We had to go through all that trouble to find an opening to sneak him around the guards and into the pipe, and we even thought luck was on our side. If Risley let him leave on purpose, then he's probably in a terrible spot now as well.
Lenny's getting more and more panicked. We have to calm him down.
I know we're doing all of this stuff. Well, Lenny is doing all of this stuff to locate if the Gnosis is actually under the Fortress of Meripede. If I remember that's actually its name. I could be wrong. My weird prediction is Farina's Gnosis is actually a part of the judgment system that they have in the opera Epicles. The way they get to portray the story right now, from me playing all of the Archon quests, the Gnosis holds a lot of power compared to a regular vision user or a delusion user for the Harbingers. So I could see, if not Farina herself, someone else probably, if there was a previous Hydro Archon, which I'm not sure of, the only person who would know if there's a previous Hydro Archon is going to be Farina and or New Valette. Probably the person who built that, if it's not Farina, it's a previous Hydro Archon, which built the Gnosis into the judgment system in the Opera Epicles. That's just my prediction. I don't know if it's actually the case, but I'm just throwing that out there.
Don't be like this, Lenny. Fremine wouldn't have left if we hadn't told you about Child. That was our fault.
No. I'm the leader of this operation, and I'm the one responsible for this team. I was the one who failed to protect them.
You didn't
I'll
know.
go talk to Risley.
Hey, don't be reckless. Traveler, please talk some sense into him.
I simply cannot allow Lynette to be abducted again. I have
Again?
to go.
Oh,
I'll
right,
find a way to
right.
get them back.
I remember that part, that she was abducted
Rushed out the door! After him!
when the previous guardian of them trying to sell her off to a different
Right. I feel like we still have some
companion, let's just say.
details.
It's not impossible, but it'll require extensive testing.
Is that so?
Seguin likes to play dumb.
Mindful of the time.
Seguin.
Is someone?
Pack everything up. Whoever's outside is eavesdropping. They'll probably come in once we stop talking. Someone! Please help! She's sick!
Whoa, are you okay?
These two. As expected, they've already found this place. Oh, they are quite sharp. What a delightful turn of events. I like smart people, but I also like playing dumb. I like the feeling of being trusted. Oh my! What's wrong, little one?
He has a weird, twisted,
Breath before you begin.
sadistic
Being
point of
able
view.
to read human expressions is quite the useful skill. Winnie, wait!
Oh, we gotta chase after him.
To catch up to him. He's already out of sight. How is he so fast? Let's go head him off at Risley's office.
Shortcut. Just jump off the top. Knock knock.
Come out and face me, Risley!
Aren't we at an administrative office space? Why don't you at least try to follow even a couple rules from the fortress's indoor management regulations?
What did you do to my sister?
I ran into the young miss at the infirmary. I'd heard that she was suffering from quite the migraine, so I decided to invite her over for a cup of tea. I do have some teas in my collection that can work wonders against such an illness.
Stop joking around! Where did you take my siblings?
I have also heard that your performances are quite the spectacle. Miss Lynette would sometimes enter a box filled with water, only to emerge the next second from another place altogether. Maybe she'll appear behind you right now if you were to turn your head.
Is he trying to trick me into turning my head? No, he's probably not looking to attack me right now. All of the hostages are in his hands, and he's even in the mood for small talk. That means Lynette is probably still alive. You knew we were investigating the infirmary from the start, so you deliberately aroused the Traveler's suspicions and baited us into continuing our investigation, just so that you'd be able to kidnap Lynette. As for Fremine, no, you probably didn't even interfere with Child's escape. You let him go, so you could purge the Fatui members that we had planted into your ranks.
There was no need to do so. The Fortress of Meripede is a pretty pleasant place. Most people enjoy their lives here. The only ones who act differently are those with personal agendas. It was quite easy to identify your colleagues.
You removed our original members and spread the news of Child's escape so Father would assign our team to come down and investigate. Fremine has also fallen into your hands, right? If you're oh so omnipotent and so in control, why would you need hostages?
One correction. Lynette is in my hands right now, but Fremine is not.
He's not. What do you really want?
Winnie!
Oh, wonderful. Everyone is here, so I'll only need to say this once. Thank you so much for cooperating with me.
I don't know. His character design is cool, Risley. So far, he's not giving me the best character vibe. Like, he's really annoying, honestly. But to each their own.
Eager and to the point, I see. Alas, only Miss Lynette is currently having a cup of the fortress's finest tea. Although, as per your original plan, Mr. Fremine should also have returned to the fortress by now. But he has neither shown up within my gates, nor has he been taken into any kind of custody. So, where do you think he may be right now?
Wait, you can't mean... You locked him outside in the sea?
I closed the fortress's gate to the outside world. That's all.
Fremine's a star diver, so he should be fine, right?
No, we're still here, so he definitely tried to find a way to come back for us. So we can't assume he might have made a break for the surface.
But why would I do this, you may be asking? To have an audience with you, of course. My intel tells me that Mr. Linney is a great magician, so it's only natural for me to want to have some cards of my own when it comes to negotiating. Besides, I do recall you mentioning to Miss Lynette that you've always wanted to have a face-to-face meeting with the Lord of the Fortress of Meripede, regardless of whether it was in a personal or a professional capacity. Well, you got your wish.
So, you've been keeping tabs on us before we even set foot in the fortress.
Some of my folks just happened to hear a thing or two, that's all. In any case, I will be straight with you. I was willing to play dumb and turn a blind eye, so we had a pleasant few days playing games together here. But once you started focusing on the Forbidden Zone, all of that changed. Mr. Linney, the cards are stacked against you right now. Miss Lynette is in my hands, and Mr. Fremine is still slowly being pickled out there in the brine. You know just as well as I that he cannot last out there forever. You need do but one thing to guarantee their safety. I would like you to contact your superior, and ideally invite her over for a cup of tea with me.
You want to see Father? But why should she bother giving you an audience?
Well, if she cares for the well-being of her dearest children, she should have plenty of motivation to join me for a parents' evening. I've heard that the bonds between the members of the House of the Hearth are like the bonds of family. I don't see why she would refuse.
Why did you think Father sent us to handle the Fortress of Meripede? This place is basically a no-man's land. It wouldn't be fitting for anyone as important as a harbinger like Father to come here in person.
Oh, I see. So it's because she doesn't care for my place here. That's such a shame. After all, I've amassed quite the tea collection. I was looking forward to sharing it with her. Both Monsieur Neuvillette and Lady Farina have already received many samples as gifts.
Was this the extent of your master plan to get to Father? No matter how much pressure you may put on me, I won't allow you to use us to blackmail her.
Are we gonna fight him?
Really are difficult to get along with. All I'm asking for is a face-to-face conversation. Does she truly have no interest in the fortress's secret? Mr. Linney, you have one last chance to invite your father here. If you refuse...
Linny!
Instead of asking why I'm doing this, why don't you try to see things from my perspective for a second? From the very beginning, the Fatui has been actively infiltrating my fortress. I gave you a warning by cutting off the first few operatives I found, but that only caused you to double down. Had you given up on the fortress then and there, I'd have no reason to want to talk. Mr. Fremine left the fortress on his own, and Miss Lynette tried to pry out my secrets right in front of me. No matter how you look at it, the responsibility for this falls on you.
I shouldn't ask Father to do anything because of us.
6, 5,
Wait,
2, 1. Time's up. It really is a shame, Mr. Linney.
Risley!
Negotiations have broken down. Please leave, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for my afternoon tea.
Yeah, listen to the Traveler. If you can't talk to Linny, can you at least talk to us?
You do realize that I'm only letting you go because of Neuvillette, yes? You're here helping him out, and I've already done my best to stay out of your way. But that doesn't mean you can just do whatever you want. The fortress may be small and remote, but it still has its own set of laws. Then how about this?
It took a
Those who
turn.
are capable deserve respect. You've spent quite some time investigating my home turf by now, so why don't you tell me a thing or two about what you found? I'll ask you 3 questions. Answer all of them correctly, and I'll agree to your
Okay.
request. Question 1. Regarding the hidden rules of the production zone, what is the truth behind the one about not being allowed to work for 3 days in a row?
It's a stupid rule to begin with. You can't work more than 3 days in a row or something's gonna happen to you at lunch or something like that. Do I...
I've been told that the infirmary is always empty for the half hour just before lunch. But what could Sijuin be doing during that time? The Fonta promoter has been struggling because he doesn't recognize the real value of coupons. We often see Miss Sijuin observing the prisoners at work near the production zone. Seems like she can perceive the general state of a person's health just by looking at them.
That's not it.
Fonta's internal reports suggest that they're starting a new trial of an unnamed and unpackaged product.
That's not it.
The research note said that the Melusine race perceives the world very differently from humans. Because of that, the Melusines have also developed a sense of aesthetics that appear rather strange and alien to humans. According to Collins, the Pancration tournament only took place because the Fonta company sponsored. I've been told that the infirmary is. We often see Miss Sijuin.
How do we navigate this? How do we select it?
The Fonta promoter has been struggling.
Oh.
I've been told that the infirmary is. The Fonta promoter has been. The research note said that. I've been told that the infirmary is always empty for the half hour just before. The Fonta promoter has been struggling.
It's in the wrong order.
I've been told that the infirmary. We often see Miss Sijuin. Fonta's internal reports suggest that they're starting a new trial of an unnamed and unpackaged product.
So, is this the reason why they're trying?
According to Collins, the Pancration tournament only took place because the Fonta company sponsored it. Fonta's internal reports suggest that they're starting a new trial of an We often see Miss Sijuin observe. The Fonta promoter has been struggling because he does.
Nope. This is so wrong. Okay.
That the infirmary is always empty for the half hour just before lunch.
It's
The
not
Fonta
that.
promoter has been struggling because he doesn't recognize the real value of coupon. We often see Miss Sijuin observing the.
None of these really follow the question of the hidden rule. Like,
Seems like she can perceive the general state of a person's health just by looking at them. According to Collins, the Pancration tournament only took place because the Fonta company sponsored it. The research note said that the Melusine race perceives the world very differently. Fonta's internal reports suggest that they're starting a new trial of.
so I got one out of. That could be. This is so bad.
According to Collins, the Pancration tournament only took place because the Fonta company sponsored it. Fonta's internal reports suggest that they're starting a new trial of an unnamed and unpackaged product. The research note said that the Melusine. According to Collins, the
Nope.
I've been told that the infirmary is old. The research note said that the.
That took such a long time. It still does not make sense. Like, how are those clues aligning with the hidden rules? I still don't know. None of that makes sense with the hidden rule.
Ah, so that's what's going on. Paimon understands it now. Who would have guessed? The hidden rule of the production zone. People are not supposed to work 3 days in a row, and if they do, they'll get strange meat in their welfare meal.
Which is the product from the Fanta.
Strange meat must have something to do with the people who disappeared. But in reality, they were all prepared by Sijuin, the head nurse. She often visits the production zone to observe the workers' health and makes a note of anyone who has worn themselves out after 3 full days of work. Out of her sense of duty as the head nurse, as well as her genuine concern for the workers' health, Sijuin visits the cafeteria right before lunch and cooks an extra dish for those who can use the stamina boost. Sijuin has only the best intentions with her surprise gift and doesn't want anyone to find out about what she does. However, unfortunately, Melusines as a race perceive the world differently from humans, and their sense of aesthetics is even more alien to us. The recipients of her lovingly prepared special meals cannot taste the care within and usually just freak out. Are we on the right track?
Not bad. You've uncovered Sijuin's secret and even guessed her intentions correctly as well. It's nice to know that her efforts have not gone unacknowledged. All right, now for my next question. There are also some hidden rules in the Pancration Ring, including the one that you're not allowed to support both sides of a fight. Why is that?
Receive a package next morning of blood. That's what happened. Okay, it's about the vial.
I've been told that the infirmary is always empty for the.
Okay, that's not it.
Internal reports suggest that they're starting a new trial of an unnamed and unpacked.
That's not gonna help. That's not gonna help.
The Fanta promoter has been struggling because.
That's not gonna
the
help.
research note said that the Melusine race, according to Collins, the Pancration tournament only took place because the Fanta company sponsored it.
Okay, we could do this Fanta company.
We often see Miss Sijuin observing.
That's not gonna work.
The Fanta promoter has been struggling because he doesn't recognize the real value of coupons. Fanta's internal reports suggest that there's.
How am I doing? I only got. Well, at least I got one correct this time around, early on.
Reports suggest that they're starting a new trial.
I think it has something to do with Fanta.
The infirmary is. The Fanta promoter has been.
I just had them opposite. Okay, so I did have the right idea. Or I was on the right track. I just had those two flipped. Give me one quick second. Okay, we should be back.
Paimon gets this rule too now, so there really was nothing to be afraid of. That hidden rule of the Pancration Ring is about how, people are not supposed to bet on both boxers at the same time. And if they do, they'll receive a package containing a strange, blood-colored liquid.
That's a new Fanta drink.
They're scared when they see it because they've subconsciously begun to associate it with the missing boxer. But really, it's just a bottle of the latest yet-to-be-named and packaged new Fanta trial product.
Fanta strawberry.
Red drink. It's no wonder even Fanta's own staff were questioning the company's decision-making. The company, facing backlash from its own staff, decided to try to trial the product on a smaller scale to see how it might be received by customers. They came to the fortress of Meropede and offered to sponsor the Pancration tournament so they could push their new product. But the Duke completely refused to even entertain the idea. The Duke, knowing how valuable coupons are in the fortress, knew that only total idiots who didn't understand their true value would bother buying a Fanta product here. And so, only those who proved their stupidity by being dumb enough to bet on two opposing sides of the same match were selected to receive the drinks.
I acknowledge the effort you've put into bringing the truth of this mystery to light. Although, based on your description, that Fanta promoter is a bit too careless with his words. I may just reconsider my collaboration with the company. All right, and here's the final question. What's the secret behind our head nurse and all of her patients in the infirmary?
Stop your cruel and pointless games, Risley! You know that we haven't finished our investigation, so there's no way we can answer the last question. The thought of sparing Lynette and Fremine never even crossed your mind. You'll pay for this!
Lenny, are you alright?
Is that Sijuan?
Oh, close one. I owe you, Sijuan. That was a fantastic shot.
It was nothing, Your Grace. Sijuan? Though this gun may look like a toy, it's actually fully functional, as I just demonstrated.
Sijuan... You...
Accomplices.
I am merely a resident of the fortress, and thus protecting it is my duty. When Monsieur Nervulette asked me to come here, he told me that my job would be to take care of the well-being of everyone here. I am merely discharging my duties. But if you mean what you just said, then isn't Linny someone you should be looking after as well? Isn't he a resident here just like the rest of us? But I really am just doing what Monsieur Nervulette told me to do. Everything I did, I've done to protect them. Had I not, they would be in far more dire straits right now. His Grace knows it too, right? Your Grace? Mind proving my innocence to them?
My dear Sijuan, whatever shall I do with you? Would it have killed you to just wait another minute or two?
Well, it's nearly time after all. The way you do things can be truly frustrating sometimes, Your Grace. I figured I should try to talk some sense into you. What are you talking about? What time?
Take me if you want. But let them go.
How touching. Can you just give me one more minute?
Don't be like that, Your Grace.
All right, everyone, calm down. 2 more visitors will be arriving any time now. I'll go get a cup of tea. Miss Sijuan, I leave Miss Lynette in your care.
You... What are you doing?
I believe I hear footsteps.
Is that feminine?
Some space.
Clorinde.
Ah, Miss Clorinde.
Clorinde.
Fremine... Fremine...
What's going on? What is Clorinde doing here?
Work.
I'm sorry about shooting you, Mr. Linny. The tranquilizing effect will begin to wear off soon. Please take it easy in the meantime, though.
What happened to Fremine? Wasn't he diving just outside of the fortress? Why is he looking like this?
A flushed face, an accelerated pulse. He must have consumed primordial seawater.
What did you say?
Please, make some space. I'll need to give Mr. Fremine a more thorough checkup. Your Grace, I'll leave the rest to you.
I'll talk to Clorinde while you get Fremine to where he needs to be. Everything else can wait.
I would have whipped the shit out of them both. To be honest, I would have whipped the shit out of them both.
I got a
Risley
good time on
and
the way back.
Sigewin.
Oh, I'm just admiring your punctuality. Had you arrived just a few minutes later, Sigewin may have been forced to shoot Mr. Linney again. How's the situation out there?
The water has changed. It's pretty much as expected. The concentration of primordial seawater has increased significantly. I was only out there a short time, so it wasn't too bad. But if one were to stay for any significant amount of time, well, you can see how that boy's doing.
Where was he when you found him?
Pause. If he consumed the primordial seawater, how is he still here? The last time we saw someone consume the seawater, the primordial water, whatever it is, they instantly turn into water. Does that mean Femine is not from Fontaine? Which makes sense, because if he's not going to be, consumed by the primordial water, I'm not sure. Something weird is going on.
The abandoned zone at the end of the pipes. A good distance into the water.
Closer than I thought. He must have recognized it early on and tried desperately to swim back.
Locking the door was necessary. I don't think we could have saved two.
Well, I did try to convince him that I had my reasons. Never seems to work, though.
It would probably work on Neuvillette. He has a knack for picking out who had good intentions, even when the outcomes were all terrible.
It's a bad sign if you're having to plead your case to Neuvillette. Want some tea?
Not particularly. If you want to drink some that badly, just say so.
Fine, I'd like to get some tea. Want me to get you a cup too, since I've already made it?
Might as well then, I suppose. Actually, do you have a towel? I would like to dry my hair.
I would have whipped both of them.
How is he?
These symptoms are probably caused by an acute ingestion of a large amount of primordial seawater. Still, his condition is not critical. Of course, it would be best if he stayed for further observation. Let's leave him here for now, and move him to the infirmary once he's recovered a bit more. Sorry. I am aware that the infirmary may not be your favorite place in the world at the moment. We do only have a single clinic in the fortress, however.
Why would he ingest a large amount of primordial seawater after leaving the fortress? How could that possibly happen?
Please, look after Mr. Fremine for the moment. I'll go fetch some medicine and a respirator. Oh, I'll bring Miss Lynette back with me.
Where is she? How is she right now?
Oh, she just took a nap in an empty room after I tranquilized her. If my calculations are correct, she should also be waking up right around now. You might not believe me, but His Grace and I actually made some snacks and tea for her.
I thought I would have whooped their ass.
Linny, are you okay?
I'll be fine. They're all here now. Don't worry about me.
Are you sure? You don't look alright.
My hands and feet are still a bit weak, but that's probably just the residual effects of the tranquilizer shot.
I'm back, everyone.
Lenny! Oh, Traveler, Paimon, you're here too. Fremine? Is he...
He'll be fine. But for now, please help me lift him up.
His breathing's beginning to slow down.
Give me a hand and help me get him to the infirmary.
Yeah, I'll take him from this side. Lynette, together?
On it.
Traveler, you seem pretty worried about him. Want to come with us?
Just to keep an eye on you before you try anything.
The Duke and Clarander gone. They probably went to get some tea. The Duke will explain the truth in just a bit. Miss Clarande will need a break, since she only just returned from rescuing Fremine out of the sea.
I don't know. It does not feel like an Archon quest right now. This portion of the story just feels very bland for the Archon quest. Like, I don't know how I should describe it. It's like I feel like they could have done more. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's something I wouldn't have done. Remain that calm. I would have whooped both of their ass in that situation. But needless to say, not the way I would handle the situation.
He's awake. Fremine, how do you feel?
Lynette.
We're all here.
Where am I?
The infirmary, at the Fortress of Meripede, Mr. Fremine, and you are no longer in any danger. How do you feel? Don't push yourself if you're not feeling up to it.
Traveler. Paimon. It's been so long. The sea. There's something wrong with the seawater.
Shh, it's okay. We can talk about it after you've recovered.
No, listen to me. This is really serious. There's primordial seawater mixed into the regular seawater. I don't know why it's there, but no one should touch it. Pipes. Right, the pipes. It's all coming back to me now. I'm in. Seems like this pipe hasn't been used in a long time. It looks abandoned. Where could Master Child be?
Oh, we get to play as Fremine. Okay. Level 90 with the Royal Greatsword? What? Is that just because it fits kind of like thematically? But I thought the bell fit better, or just because it doesn't do enough damage, they couldn't use the bell.
This mechanism looks like it's been tampered with. Could he have done it?
Okay, so do we make our way around?
It's getting stuck on something. Seems like I'll have to avoid those obstacles while I turn it.
What obstacle? Do I have to drop it down and then turn it and raise it back up? Probably. Let's turn that. Yep, that should be fine. I was not expecting there to actually be a hole there.
This is where the water starts. Okay. Master Child probably dived into the water. I'll go take a look as well.
Dive, 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 dive. They should at least give him the helmet. Because that's a part of his animation, right?
Vegetation here is a bit more sparse. These traces aren't natural. A person must have left them, and recently. Oh, there are traces here too. I need to keep going. Traces are gone, but I don't see where he could have gone from here. Wait, what the? My heart is racing, and it's getting harder and harder to breathe. What's going on? No good. I have to get back. They still don't know anything about what's going on. If I turn back right now, I should still be able to make it.
Ooh, we're losing HP.
I can't die here. This is bad. I'm feeling worse and worse, and I'm still underwater.
And that's where she saved him. Okay.
So, in other words, the trail you were following vanished, and you had no idea where Master Child could have gone. But there was also no obvious place for him to have disappeared to.
That's right. I tried my best to swim back, but I had already put some distance between myself and the fortress, and I just couldn't find the strength to keep going. I probably passed out some time after that, and you know the rest.
Miss Clarande brought you back, but we also don't know why she just suddenly appeared at the fortress, or why she went out to save you.
Miss Clarande, you say? I must go thank her in person.
You're still too weak, Fremine. You can go after you've had some more rest.
Miss Lynette is right. I believe Miss Clarande will stay here as a guest for another few days, so there's no need to hurry.
A guest? Then I can assume Risley was the one who invited her to come down here?
You should ask His Grace about that. He'll be able to explain better than me.
You're his accomplice.
Yeah, it's about time he actually told us what's going on. Wanna come with us, Libby?
No, please go on without me. I don't want to leave just yet.
Lenny.
The logical part of my brain is aware that we're safe right now, but I still can't bring myself to leave. Both of you are just in danger.
Understood. Then let's just sit together for a while.
In that case, I'll leave the infirmary to you. The Traveler and I are going to head out for now. As long as you stay in here, I don't think you'll be disturbed.
Thank you.
Okay. Back down to the office. Knock, knock.
Excuse me.
I take it Mr. Fremine's condition has stabilized?
Of course. I wouldn't have left the infirmary otherwise.
I've been expecting those two, but might I inquire as to the purpose of your visit, Miss Siegewien?
I wanted to check up on Miss Clarande. How are you feeling?
Mostly fine, I think.
If you don't mind, I'd like to perform another quick physical exam. It'll just take a few minutes.
All right. Thank you for looking out for me. I'll take my leave for now, then.
Well, want to explain yourself, Risley?
Of course, but I'm not partial to the word choice of explain. How about enlighten?
His eyes are weird, the pupil.
Where should I begin? How about you start by asking me any questions you have? You can start with whichever one you'd like to get answered the most.
Then Paimon will begin. Did you know about Lenny's goals from the very beginning?
No. I just knew they were Fatui operatives sent to the fortress by the Knave. As for their specific goals, I only figured those out as you made progress on your investigation.
You managed to monitor and stay ahead of them even though you didn't know what they were trying to do?
They came here with ulterior motives. I'm quite adept at discerning what that kind of behavior signals.
So why didn't you
Initially,
stop
I thought
them?
Their goal was just to investigate Child's disappearance. Linny suggested that I had deliberately let him escape, but in truth, I didn't really do anything special to help or hinder him while he was here. Everything he did, from finding helpers to leaving this place, he did on his own. Of course, it's inevitable that the Knave would make a big deal out of her fellow Harbinger's unexplained disappearance. I'm also quite curious about where that Harbinger went. So I figured I might as well let the Fatui do their own investigative work. All I care about is the answer.
So you were hoping Liddy's group would just do your work for you!
You make it sound like that's a bad thing. Unfortunately, things didn't go as planned. I assume that Fremine has told you already, the ratio of primordial seawater around the fortress of Meripede is on the rise. The Forbidden Zone has always been Linny's target, and you got roped into that investigation after running into him. I began to intervene out of concern for your safety, and also to prevent the fortress from becoming entangled in more irksome matters.
Are the rumors true? That you're also a former criminal?
Why would you put it like that? Isn't staying here all day and serving as the manager of the fortress a kind of sentence unto itself? Another form of prison? I just happen to have some support from the rest of the inmates. That's all.
Oh, right. Paimon wanted to ask, who invited Cloran down here?
These are not the questions you should be asking.
Paid her good Mora to come down to the fortress for some field work. As a champion duelist, Miss Cloran could be considered to be an independent party. I needed to find an exceptionally capable person to help me get through the impending crisis.
And saving Fremine was part of that crisis?
You can think of it like that, yes. Credit where credit is due, that boy is quite adept at diving. Had conditions not been as hostile as they were, he probably would have found the missing Harbinger already. That's not something you should be asking after. Neuvillette only asked you to investigate Child's whereabouts. All I need to prove to you is that the Forbidden Zone had nothing to do with the Harbinger's disappearance. That should be clear now that you've spoken to Fremine.
But we've already uncovered that there's something wrong with the infirmary, and we've answered a bunch of questions that you threw at us. Isn't it about time that you answer our last question in return?
You make a compelling case. Do you really want to know the answer that badly?
Yeah, Paimon really wants to know.
Even if the truth may not be pleasant?
Sure.
Follow me.
Are we gonna get to see what's in the Forbidden Zone?
There's a hidden door here? And a whole basement behind it? Huh. You're pretty good at hiding stuff, Risley.
It seems you've forgotten just what kind of place the Fortress of Meripede is.
Assuming that's an elevator.
Stand on the central plate.
Wait, is there a secret mechanism or... Whoa!
It is an elevator.
So, this is the Forbidden Zone? Honestly, for a place so well hidden, Paimon sure doesn't see anything special. What a huge door!
There are 3 such isolation gates in total. Generally speaking, I'm the only one who's allowed to go inside. Hence the name Forbidden Zone. Am I correct to assume you're going to run on back and tell your little Fatui friends everything?
Well, Paimon wasn't thinking of keeping anything from them.
Well, I'd advise you wait until you've seen the whole truth of this place for yourself before deciding whether or not to tell them.
Alright, let's see the whole truth. What's going on here in this Forbidden Zone that is so terrible that no one, and I mean no one but you, have access to this place?
Huh. So there's a switch on the side.
Stand back.
Whoa! They all just went up one by one.
Go on, have a look. I've been interested in what lies beyond that gate ever since I assumed leadership of the Fortress of Meripede. Of course, it would be unwise to recklessly open it, but it'd also be risky and negligent to simply ignore any potential danger that could be behind it. The readings on that dashboard have not budged since the day when I first laid eyes on this place. But over the past year, the needle has crept upwards from its original position, likely because some parameter it's been tracking has changed, if only infinitesimally. Normally I would have ignored it, but I happened to have some free time when I noticed it, so I investigated. Any guesses what the reading could be tracking?
The water temperature?
Very reasonable guesses. I've considered both of those as well. Unfortunately, our dashboard is tracking something less ordinary. The temperature should vary with weather and climate changes, so for something that rarely shifts, the water pressure is more likely. We ran a few tests to increase the pressure from the outside, but the readings didn't change at all. Later on, a few more possibilities occurred to me, such as a potential connection with the primordial sea. I began to make a few preparations based on that hypothesis. Over the past few days, the needle has moved again. With that, and the symptoms that Fremine displayed after leaving the fortress, I can now confidently conclude that the readings represent the concentration of primordial seawater in the seawater nearby.
Interesting.
Of primordial seawater? But we're already under the sea!
And that is precisely the problem. We're at the bottom of the sea, and now we're surrounded by toxic seawater. Somehow, primordial seawater got mixed in, and the concentration is steadily rising. Yes, that's very likely.
But forget about the two of us. Not even Novelette knows where the primordial sea could be, much less where we could find and plug a leak.
Okay, so we're going for primordial sea as the whole issue. So, I have a theory. The theory, unfortunately, has a spoiler inside of it, which may or may not be the actual theory that I had in mind, and it may or may not work. So, we normally know whenever there's an Archon coming out, there's roughly a new world boss. Whether or not the world boss itself has anything to do with the primordial sea, I don't know. I have a feeling it might, but it might not completely. I have a weird feeling it might.
Seems like you've figured it out. I believe the primordial sea lies directly beneath this sluice gate. For some reason, the primordial seawater levels have risen significantly, and it's now very close to us. The indicators are now red. Although the gate still stands, some primordial seawater has already leaked out and mixed into the sea around us. If this continues, soon it will no longer be able to hold back the primordial sea at all. Yeah, you know what the legends say. If this place falls, then everyone in Fontaine will be turned into puddles in the span of a night.
But that's just too weird! Why would the Fortress of Meripede be built right above a sluice gate for the primordial sea? Who built this place anyway?
Your expression tells me you think this might be part of a vast, complicated conspiracy. To be honest, you might find the actual answer may be exceedingly boring. It's just that the secret of the Forbidden Zone had been long forgotten by the nation before I rediscovered it with my research. There's no single founder of the Fortress of Meripede in any traditional sense. What we know about its history has been left to us by the people who used to live here. When the previous Hydro Archon, Egeria, ruled the land, all convicted criminals from Fontaine were exiled. The people drove the criminals away like a wolf pack chasing away the banished.
That's what I'm talking about. Is the previous Hydro Archon. I had a weird suspicion. Egeria, I don't know. I said I don't think, which it's turned out not to be the case, that the Gnosis is in the Fortress of Meripede. I think the Gnosis is in the Judgment machine that they have at the opera, please.
The criminals received no sympathy of any kind from the people. They were exiled to the desolate seaside, where they experienced only pain, struggle, and the bone-chilling cold. Some of them began to repent and prayed to the Hydro Archon, asking if there was still anything they could do. The Hydro Archon took pity on them and said, "You may go guard my secret, deep underneath the waves." And so, leaning on the power of the Hydro Archon, they gathered underneath the sea and began to build a fortress. They became a community down there in the deeps, and over the years helped it to grow. As the number of exiles increased, more and more people joined the community. When the first group of exiles died, they left the yet unfinished fortress to their successors. The Hydro Archon continued to lend her support, allowing the fortress and what it stood for to continue growing ever larger. Before long, this dark underwater fortress became the sinner's only home. And with that, the people here stopped referring to the fortress as a prison. They saw themselves as repenting sinners who would regain their freedom once they had sufficiently redeemed themselves. But as time went on, people also realized that the fortress was a lonely place. Once they had gotten used to life here, they could no longer feel comfortable living in the overworld. Once they had finished serving their sentences, some people left and some others chose to stay. They'd find some idle position and let their withered souls fade away with the ancient secrets of the past. After many, many centuries, few people still remember the reason for the fortress's founding. Now they just see it as an integral pillar of Fontainian society, as the place where criminals deserve to be sent. Now and again, researchers manage to break one law or another and live out their days in the fortress. I learned all this from an elderly historian. Everyone else just thought he'd made it all up.
But now you know every part of that history is true.
Indeed. It's just as the prophecy says. If this gate fails, then everyone will be dissolved into the sea. To be frank, not really. But sadly, that hasn't stopped this prophecy from proving all too accurate. Prophecies are troublesome things. Just hearing one will create the first wave of panic. Seeing signs of it will bring about the second, and actually witnessing it in real time, the third. Let's go somewhere else. I want to show you something. This is it.
Your Grace, perfect timing. The results from our last round of experiments have...
Wait, Jurier, he's not alone!
Huh? Lorvine and Jurier?
No need to panic, you two. I've already told them about our plan.
What? After you warned us not to tell a single soul about any of this?
I'm skeptical as well. Are you sure they are trustworthy?
The results speak for themselves, don't they? These two may already know more than you could ever imagine.
All right then, if Your Grace insists.
They seem harmless enough, so I'll trust them for now.
Well, how about some reintroductions? This is Jurier, one of the highest-ranked researchers from the Fontaine Research Institute. He used to work under Edwin. I trust that you've heard of Edwin?
I don't remember Ed who.
He's the one who blew the whole institute sky high. Everyone knew he was a bit crooked in the head, but you're not a local, so I guess it's possible for you not to have heard of him.
Edwin's main areas of research were archaeum and gravimeters. As his assistant, Jurier is quite familiar with them as well. I hired him to be my technical consultant.
You want to blow up the fortress of Meripede?
Ah, what a lovely idea. I'm already imagining it in my head.
Gotta admit, I'm tempted as well.
Guys, focus! Focus!
That taskmaster over there is Miss Lorvine, and is also one of my technical consultants. While Jurier used to be Edwin's assistant, she used to be Jurier's assistant.
Ooh, are they together?
See, everyone keeps asking this question. Are you too sure you're not a couple and just using your work as a convenient cover?
Your Grace, I am not in a relationship with this man.
If I dated her, I'd officially be madder than Edwin.
Jeez. Forget I said anything then. Follow me.
Whoa! There's another door that goes right up!
Your constant amazement makes it seem like the fortress can do anything.
But Paimon really thinks everything's super cool!
Well, let's spice it up a bit. And here you go.
The hell is this?
What a huge ship! This is also a production zone that Paimon's never seen before. What's going on?
How much do you know about Fontanian history?
Not much at all.
Are they a part of the people of the sea?
Of ancient Lemuria. To give you a quick rundown, Fontaine used to be ruled by the Lemurian dynasty. According to legend, the Lemurian king Remus came to this land after being inspired by divine revelation and found the seer Sibila, who had taken on the form of a golden bee. Taking the golden bee with him and riding on a huge ship, the Fortuna, he created his nation above the surging waves. He called his nation Lemuria, and used the Fortuna to incessantly search for new tribes and islands, calling on them to join his empire.
There's a ship in this story too?
Where there's water, there'll be ships. People believe that hope can always be found at the end of a voyage.
Do you believe that too?
Possibly.
To a point, I think. As you've already seen, I have a whole factory's worth of labor, materials, and technology at my disposal. Certainly can't hurt to give it a try. So the moment I began to speculate that the primordial sea might lie underneath the gate, I also began this project.
Were you inspired by the legendary Fortuna?
Maybe. Fontanians need something to hold on to cope with the impending disaster.
What can we do to prevent the primordial seawater from getting out?
This ship, riots would destroy the fortress faster than any catastrophe. As the fortress's administrator, I'd never make such a reckless call. Alright, that's enough talking for now. I'll need another 3 cups of tea to soothe my throat. Do you have any other questions? Seems like you're good. Come on, I'll take you back.
So we don't have access to this area anymore? No? I guess not.
I'll leave you here for now.
Oh, thank you so much.
No worries. But don't forget, it's up to you whether or not you want to share what you just saw. What you do from here on out will likely affect those 3 as well.
Yeah, we'll put a lot of thought into it for sure.
Great. I look forward to what happens.
Okay. I still don't like his characteristic whatsoever, his character traits. But I do understand where he's coming from now, since it's a lot of pressure trying to figure out what the hell to do if a prophecy that you do not believe in, but is actually coming true, because we all know apparently if the primordial seawater consumed by anyone in Fontaine, they basically turn to mush, so basically turn to a puddle of water. So the prophecy is true, but how they built the Fortress of Merpede on top of the... Is it an opening? I don't know, like... Is it this where all the water started from? I don't know how to describe it.
Do you want a cup of tea?
How can you be so much like Risley, always drinking tea?
Huh. Actually, now that you mention it, I just remembered something now. While I was sedated, I could still barely hear two people talking next to me. They were discussing everything, from the leaves to the water and even the teacups themselves.
Must have been Risley and Sejuin.
Yeah, I heard one male voice and one female, so it should have been the two of them. They really were just talking about brewing tea.
I really can't make sense of this place.
So, Traveler, Paimon, were you able to learn anything from Risley?
Yeah, he explained everything.
Very well. Then, would you mind checking your answers against my speculations?
Sure.
Yeah, I took the time to rest, so I'm feeling a lot more relaxed now.
Nobody else is around, and Miss Sejuin is also busy with something or other. So let's just talk here.
All right, then I'll posit my theories. I asked myself 3 questions. Firstly, why was Fremine affected by the primordial seawater? It was because he dove into the sea. My theory is, the long-lost primordial sea is probably very close to the fortress of Mirapede.
Ooh, he's good. He got that right on the first try.
That's Arlene.
Secondly, Risley's attitude changed dramatically during the course of our stay here. He ignored us completely at first, then suddenly roadblocked us. Why? I spent quite a long time thinking about this. If he has been monitoring the Fatui since the very beginning, he probably ignored us at first because he was hoping we could find Master Child for him. What's more, the Fortress of Mirapede is not part of Fontaine's court system, nor does it report to Udex Nervulet. Risley is basically the king of a no-man's land. As long as the fortress doesn't do anything about Master Child's disappearance, Father can use it to pressure the Fontaine authorities. And while the two factions are pitted against each other, Risley will be free to move between the parties of interest. If I had to guess, he probably has something that he's working on himself. It's likely related to the secret of the infirmary, but I just can't think of what it could be.
Grasp of the big picture, kind of.
Super smart.
Thanks so much. Then finally, there's the last question. If Risley does have a plan, what could it be? All I know for now is that his plan probably has something to do with the changing nature of the seawater. He's even gotten Cloran to help him out. That can't be the full extent of what he's doing. There's probably a secret passageway behind the block in the infirmary, and there's something big in the fortress that most people here never get to see. He has a bargaining chip, and it could be important enough for Father to deal with him directly. I don't have enough information, so I have no idea what his chip might be. But let me guess. You have the last piece of the puzzle.
I can't believe it.
The sea will engulf everyone. Just like the prophecy said.
Should we have told them? I think not. Like, to an extent, we should have. But not everything, which I think we did. That might not be the case, but I don't think we should have.
Could Risley have wanted to meet Father to figure out a way to deal with this crisis? If you remember, I once mentioned that Father sees the House of the Hearth as her base of operations, and she truly wants to resolve the crisis. But how could Risley have known that?
Or perhaps he didn't know and just wanted to bring Father over to his side? Which could be why he said he just wanted to negotiate.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I understand your concerns as well, Traveler. I'll figure out a way to pass this on to our Father. No matter what, we're on your side. The two of you have already aided us far too much. We probably wouldn't be standing here right now if not for you. If you ever need anything else going forward, please come to the House of the Hearth at any time. Though you may not share the sentiment, after all that we've gone through together, the three of us basically see you as family now.
You have my gratitude.
Thank you for protecting Linny when it really mattered. And thank you for sharing the secrets of the fortress with us. We didn't think you were going to do it.
Why are you being so formal all of a sudden? Paimon's hungry.
Paimon is Paimon.
Oh, you've done so much already. Go get some food.
Alright, then we'll catch you guys another time.
So who are we gonna meet in the cafeteria now? We still haven't figured out what went on with Child, or where he went, or what is he doing. So I don't really know.
It's time for dinner. Welfare meals now being served in the coupon cafeteria.
Come on, let's go pick up ours as well. Traveler Paimon, over here. Are you here for dinner too, Miss Sijwin?
Uh-huh. And I'm taking the opportunity to prepare Miss Cloran's dinner as well.
Huh. You're right. She's actually sitting in the fortress cafeteria.
What would you like to eat? Yep, you can. I've already talked to our chef, Mr. Wolsey. It's all on me today, so you can get whatever you'd like.
Then the tastiest stuff that you could offer, the biggest portion. I would say taste over portion.
Don't forget Paimon.
No problem. Just leave it to me.
So delicious.
Free dinners are absolutely.
Is this how it feels to be freeloaders? Wait a
Maybe.
second, we did do plenty of work after all.
Feeling full yet? How's the food?
Delicious.
Beside the milk.
I'm so glad to see you all so happy. Oh, see, the expression on your face just now? The muscle here just moved, which suggests that you're feeling quite relaxed at the moment.
Sijwin, do you do this to help your patients or to better understand human beings?
A little of both.
A bit of both, I suppose. I'm a Melazine, which means I'm very different from human beings. I must know what you're thinking if I want to take good care of you.
You're really good at taking care of people. Even though you're so short, you still talk and act like an older sister.
Really? You're reminded of an older sister? That's great to hear.
Oh, and what did you mean back in Risley's office? When you said that you were protecting Linny and his siblings as well?
Oh, that. I just asked His Grace to look out for those children, especially that diver boy. I was getting a bit worried after hearing that something was wrong with the water. Thankfully, Cloran is very strong and managed to save him in the nick of time. His Grace also sealed the pipes after Cloran left, to make sure that Linny wouldn't impulsively chase after his brother. Although the path was blocked, we still stationed some guards there to stop anyone from approaching. They were instructed to only open the door once Miss Cloran had returned. Oh, and I was keeping an eye on Mr. Linny as well. We had to press him, but we couldn't allow him to be in any real danger.
You were all super considerate and really thought everything through.
It's just what we do down here at the fortress. At least this has been His Grace's style for as long as he's been the leader. Oh, I really wish Monsieur Nervula would come down here more often too. I feel like he'd like it here, with all the darkness and chaos. Get a good night's rest, you two. You both worked very hard.
Dia fainted from that fall? What? There's nothing to pin. I still keep thinking about what happened with me pulling Diluc 77 wishes in Nivella's banner, losing 50-50 and pull Diluc. Any other character would have appreciated. Mona would have been fine. Consolation for Dia, fine. Tainari, that's still a new character I don't really have.
Paimon just feels absolutely exhausted now that she's finally relaxed. Paimon's super sleepy. Are you sleepy too?
Are we gonna have a vision for Child? Damn, Paimon!
Delicious. Paimon wants seconds for free.
Are we gonna have a child? We're gonna have a child vision right now.
Get out of my way! What happened? Why is everyone running? No idea, but something must have happened. Stop asking!
Who's yelling? Paimon still wants to sleep.
Okay, we didn't have a vision, but something is going on.
What happened? Why is everyone running around? Hey, what are you doing?
There's no time to explain, mate. Goodbye.
Hey, wait! What's wrong with these people? They won't even talk to us.
They're here! There you are! Oh, thank goodness!
What's happening? What's happening?
We're still in Lavaroon. Do you know what happened here?
Quisto!
We came here especially to inform you. Something seems to have gone terribly wrong just now. His Grace is telling everyone to evacuate and get out of here. Lavaroon was saying you two are new here and you don't have many friends, so you might slip through the cracks. Haven't you heard all the stories like that? An evacuation is successfully completed. Yet you only find out once you do a head count that 1 or 2 people are missing.
Wait, weren't you the one who brought that up? Why is it suddenly my idea?
Hey, shut up!
Quisto is my boy.
Okay, whatever. The point is, you should come with us. Yeah, he said to get as far away as possible, upwards and outwards.
Alright, let's go take a look. What's going on at the bottom?
It can't be that thing.
Oh, wait, what? What? Hey, where are you going?
Quisto? Luveran?
You two just
Go on ahead. Exactly.
Hey, hey! Be careful!
Quisto!
Attention! Please evacuate upwards and outwards, upwards and outwards. If you're already at the topmost layer, then try to move as far outwards as possible.
Upward and outward. Knock knock! What's going on?
They're here.
Just like I said.
What happened?
You're just in time. But be ready to run.
Is that the primordial seawater? I'm assuming so. Is he gonna freeze them? He's gonna freeze it? He did throw. I'm assuming that wouldn't have stopped it.
Three, two, one.
This won't hold it for long. Find Neuvillette. Tell him the defenses are about to collapse.
Then what will happen to you?
Until he arrives, we're the last line of defense. The gate. How long do you think it'll hold?
That depends on us.
Okay then. As I said, when he froze it the first time, I don't think that would have stopped it. Are we going to get Neuvillette?
Traveler, I need you to head to the Opera House immediately. Farina will soon be meeting with the knave there. You must protect Farina, and make sure she doesn't spend too much time alone with her. Will do. You have my sincerest gratitude.
What the hell's going on? What the hell's going on? The Opera Epicles? Okay, the story's getting hyped now. Previously it was a bit boring, to be honest, but... What's up with Farina?
Look, there are a ton of Fatui and Palais Mermonia people over there. The knave is probably here already. We need to hurry. Are you two the traveler in Paimon? Monsieur Neuvillette has left instructions. Please follow me. Though I'm sure he's already explained, this should be a mostly cordial conversation, unlikely to give rise to violence. But it would be most appreciated if you could protect Lady Farina to the best of your abilities.
I will do my best. She will be coming home with me. 4.2.
Oh, so you two are the honored guests Miss Farina mentioned.
Of course, of course. How could they not attend a meeting such as this? I must always have 2 or more guests at my dessert table. Otherwise, the occasion would be too lonely and unbecoming of my station.
It is my pleasure to make your acquaintance, traveler. I have heard much of your accomplishments. I am the knave, one of the 11 Fatui harbingers.
The head of the House of Heart. Greetings.
I've already prepared seats for you. Come, sit beside me.
Perhaps you two are unaware of how Miss Farina and I do things. You see, we actually recently agreed to get together for tea when we had the time. See this? This is a limited type of confectionery that Miss Farina simply adores. There are only 16 slices sold every day. Here, why don't you and Paimon have a taste?
She actually knows what Paimon is?
Traveler, what do you think of this cake?
Paimon thinks Greece too, okay.
What said was on the mark after all. You do share a taste in desserts with Farina and I wonder how he's doing nowadays. You must have heard, right? He's suddenly gone missing. I'm really worried about his safety, you know. Here's to hoping that he's an excellent swimmer.
I have faith in his ability.
Since we're talking about him, I feel like I should add something. His martial prowess really looked certainly pretty impressive, yeah.
Oh, so you're also familiar with his aptitude for fighting, Miss Farina. Oh, right. I almost forgot. Child was subdued by Udex Nuvillette right in front of you.
Yeah, Nuvillette just put it on Child when you try to go into his delusion for him.
Against ordinary people, my colleague would never be on the back foot. But alas, he just never imagined he'd run into such a person. I must express my admiration for Monsieur Nuvillette. Coming from you, that's not surprising at all.
But I thought you would be happier to hear the news.
Of course, but it's still a bit of a shame. You see, I would have been far happier had I received this news somewhat earlier. As you well know, a long time has passed since Child disappeared.
Well, in any case, there's no need to worry. We know for sure that Child is still alive.
Oh, and just how do you know that?
Because we found evidence that proved he left the Fortress of Mirabede.
And where did he go after leaving the fortress?
Well...
Are we gonna take over? Paimon and always is rush.
Deep beneath the waves. Unless he pranced right out of the main gate, he must have had to swim for it. Do you have any proof that he surfaced safely? Ah, that is good news at least. His sister Tonya sent a letter to Fontaine not too long ago. Since he was unfortunately unavailable, I picked it up on his behalf. Do you have any idea how he usually writes back to his family? Dear Tonya, your letter made me feel like we were still enjoying our time in Snezhnaya together. I'm currently admiring the scenery on the streets in front of the Opera House. Is it something like that?
Sounds good to me.
Letters tend to follow the same few formats anyway, right? As long as the contents are accurate, it doesn't matter so much how it's written or how it's worded.
Hold on. The water in the teacup is shaking.
I suppose this is also a sign of things to come, Miss Farina.
Huh? I don't quite understand what you're trying to say.
Have we entered into the next stage of the prophecy?
Damn.
My thanks to you both. I will take it from here.
Sure you don't need a hand?
Quite sure.
Wow. So, what's your secret, huh? Let me guess. Nah, who knows? Maybe it's just your sense of responsibility.
Sounds about right.
Can we not see the fight? Well, it's not really a fight, but can we not see him action? Since I don't really have him, at least let me see him in action.
A day may come when the prophecy is fulfilled, and the waters burst forth. But it is not this day! This ancient power could easily obliterate an entire race.
He reversing the
fury would unleash endless catastrophe.
My boy just sealed it back.
This is too severe. Forgive me for overruling it.
Damn. I wish I pulled him. I wish I pulled him.
Seems like the problem inside has been suppressed.
Let me guess. We're safe for now.
Indeed. But only for now.
I win this bet. You owe me a present.
Very well. It was indeed just as you said.
You made a bet?
We made a bet on the size of your entourage. Cloran thought you wouldn't come down by yourself.
I figured you would have at least brought a few people along for appearance's sake. It appears I underestimated just how confidential the mission was.
Shouldn't you have gotten used to confidential missions by now? That's just how the courts operate.
So what gift must the loser give? Tea?
He already has tons of tea in his office. I'm thinking about a set of legal codices.
That wouldn't happen to be a dig at my lack of legal awareness, would it?
Well, I'm sure His Grace doesn't consider the fortress to be outside the law.
I was under the impression the residents of a place like this would be uninterested in the legal codices.
That was obviously a joke. Anyway, you've still got some unfinished business to attend to in the overworld, correct?
No need to stay here if you have a pressing matter. We all know you can't leave Palain Ramonia for long.
Thank you. I hope everything went smoothly with the Fatui Harbinger.
I wish I pulled him. It's more upsetting every time. It's more upsetting every time.
I must say, we've spent long enough playing house. Miss Farina, as the Hydro Archon, I am sure you understand the exact meaning of the phenomenon we just witnessed. Or should I say, that's what I originally thought. But looking at your expression, was I wrong? And you haven't a clue?
What are you trying to say?
At this point, I don't think there's any more need to speak as diplomatic representatives. Allow me to speak to you now as just a Fontanian. You know the prophecy by heart, and also that every part of it is being proven true. Yet, here you are, relaxing, drinking tea, and eating desserts as if it's all nothing more than a few stray bugs in your garden. Do you really think that's acceptable? The prophecy's hanging above our necks like a guillotine. Every faction is looking for a way to either avert the disaster or save their own. Even the orphans of the House of the Hearth have devoted everything to saving their homeland. But you? It beggars belief just how nonchalant and carefree you have been.
Damn.
From the very beginning, you, the god Focalor, you have utterly failed to take action.
You're wrong. I've never ignored the prophecy, nor have I just been passing the time in self-indulgence. Retract your accusation and stop doubting the wisdom of the gods with such absurd conjectures.
I am not alone in my doubts, you know. All the children of Fontaine may be harboring the exact same thoughts right now. Oh, great Hydro Archon. How are you going to save them? Save us? How are the people you've sworn to protect supposed to survive in a land that will soon disappear beneath the waves?
I have my ways, and I've been working on them for all this time. Even if you look down upon me, you have no right to judge me. Fontaine will be saved. Even if I still cannot see the true future right now. As long as I continue on as I am, I will be able to hold my head up high.
Then I'll ask you, Miss Farina, just what have you been working on? Where can we see it, and what is it doing to help?
My machinations are just like the prophecy itself. They will only reveal themselves at the fated time. It is just that beings like yourselves are unable to perceive them as of yet.
I see. As a god, the proof of your labor always lies beyond prying mortal eyes. Allow me to be so bold as to ask another way. Would it be possible for you to tell us the parts of your plan that are not confidential? Such as your emergency response plan for the impending disaster?
An emergency response plan?
Come on, Farina. Come on, Farina. You got this, girl.
Even prepared one of those.
The emergency response plan is also strictly confidential.
You're bringing in Zhang Li.
Miss Farina, what is the purpose of your Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal? And what do you plan to do with the massive amounts of indemnitium that has accumulated over the years?
The Oratrice? It's just like it appears to be.
So you also have no idea. If I'm not mistaken, someone's using it to prepare for something. But unfortunately, it would seem that someone is not you, Miss Farina. I first caught wind of this when Linny tried to investigate the Oratrice in the Opera House. You see, even just getting close to the core contaminated him with an extremely large amount of indemnitium. But even if that had nothing to do with you, then what could you possibly be working on, oh great Hydro Archon? Oh, right. I almost forgot. Udex Nouvillette is not at the tea party with us today. Miss Farina, I suppose you must have ordered him away to take care of some troublesome business.
Yes, that's exactly right. Please keep it a secret for me.
Of course I will. Although, I must say, Miss Farina, you seem quite insecure without the Udex by your side. Oh, very well. Let's stop that conversation here. There are still a few slices of cake left, so please, help yourselves, everyone. Traveler, I heard that you were recently commissioned to handle a few matters on behalf of the Udex. Why don't you take an extra slice of cake? Those who work hard deserve gratitude and praise.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Paimon will take you up on that offer. Oh, Paimon's super full. That cake was great.
If it's on my tea table, it must be of the highest quality. Yes, and we must thank the knave for bringing these over as well.
You're welcome. I'm sure the cake also felt greatly honored to be featured at Miss Farina's table. And I was merely catering to Miss Farina's tastes, seeking a chance to chat over tea. It is getting late. Why don't we call it a day? There are still a few matters that I need to take care of, so I must take my leave now.
Very well. We'll end it here.
Mind seeing me off, Traveler? We could use the opportunity to discuss Child before I must be on my way.
Interesting. Of course.
Paimon's coming too.
The tea party turned out to be even more difficult than I'd imagined. Why are you looking at me like that? Is something the matter? If there's nothing urgent, then I shall be retiring for now.
That didn't give me any information. Come on, Farina. Coming home for sure. Because I'm guaranteed the 5-star. After Dendro, Dendro Traveler Fontaine. We all know how bad the Hydro Traveler is. And I don't want to go back and forth switching Traveler between Hydro and Dendro. Just for the Fontaine story, unfortunately. If she was somewhat more usable, the Hydro version of a Traveler, I would use it.
I'm glad that you were willing to come with me. Of course, Child was just an excuse. I have no interest in your dealings with him.
That's what Paimon thought.
You lent your aid to the children of the House of the Hearth. As their father, I would like to express my gratitude. That was all. Formal topics should be discussed in formal settings, and informal topics in informal settings. I know you just returned from the fortress of Meripede. Relax. I have no intention of trying to get anything out of you. Linny, Lynette, and Fremine are still there, and I trust their judgment and abilities.
They've all been working very hard and have always done all they can to fight back against anyone who tried to stop them, especially Linny.
You mean Wriothesley. He's a tricky one to deal with. It's unfortunate that Linny's so eager to prove himself that he can't learn to rely on others, including me. By the way, and you can just consider this a bit of idle gossip, but what's your impression of Furina?
Do we get a chance to answer?
You are outside of our disputes, and the freest person in all of Fontaine, able to move around most easily. Allow me to share my perspective with you.
And that's everything that happened during the trial. Master Child was declared guilty and immediately transported to the Fortress of Meripede.
Didn't he say he was coming here on vacation? Does he not feel an ounce of shame for all the trouble he has caused? Forget it. He did give us an opportunity. I will be meeting someone shortly.
Do you require help with any preparations?
No need. I will take care of it myself. I need to meet with Furina, the Hydro Archon. She is at the heart of Fontaine. But what's fascinating about her is that she often seems more like a celebrity than a working Archon.
Oh? Come over here, you little critter.
Put a pause. That outfit is badass for Alakino, but hopefully that's a skin for her when she does come out later on down the line, if she's a playable character or not. So she's been keeping tab on Furina, which is, I don't want to say wild, but Furina is just such an airhead that she never noticed, obviously. The one thing I do like about Furina, she has a different personality. So each of the Archon has a different personality so far, what I've going over, which everyone has their unique ideology and views and their way of how things should be operated. And Furina is no different from the other Archon. She has her own idea. Whether or not she wanted to be in the role of the Hydro Archon, I don't know how the Hydro Archon passed on. Just like we actually know the story how Boor Nahida became the Dendro Archon from Rukkhadevata, Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. Versus we don't know anything about how Furina became the Hydro Archon from the previous Hydro Archon. I know it starts with E. I know we heard it. I just can't remember how to say it. But you guys get what I'm trying to say. That I don't know how they're gonna plan to work around the story as of yet. Maybe it has nothing to do with it, but you never know.
You
My goal is just to discover the location of the Gnosis. But I didn't expect the chance to approach Farina to be handed to me on a silver platter. This is so easy, it's actually making me a bit suspicious. Anything left unguarded is usually just bait. But no one will blame someone for taking the bait. After all, from the moment it was attached to the hook, the bait is meant to be sacrificed. It's just as I guessed in the second before I struck. The Hydrognosis is not currently held by the Archon. In fact, this Archon doesn't seem like a god at all. And I sense that she's under some kind of curse.
Really?
What are you trying to do? Please don't kill me. I'm begging you, please.
The fear in her pupils is genuine, so perhaps she's not bait after all. Either way, targeting her has lost all meaning. I left the scene with ease. Nobody came looking for me, and nobody could serve as a witness to my near assassination of Focalor. I suspect even Farina dares not mention this incident to anyone. Not long after, my informants confirmed what I had guessed. After returning to her quarters, Farina quietly cried alone. She was so scared that she could not sleep that night, nor could she even bring herself to eat her cake.
That's why Farina knows who attacked her, obviously. That's why she's kind of hesitant and scared of the knave, the father, Alekino. Okay,
There's
okay.
no doubt that there's something wrong with her. I began to entertain the possibility that she is not the true Hydro Archon. Perhaps Iudex Neuvillette is actually the genuine article. I have to find the Gnosis. If the Neuvillette hypothesis is correct, he is probably in possession of it. Alternatively, it might have been hidden in a place that's hard for ordinary people to access.
Yes, Father.
My dear children, please speak.
News from the fortress of Meripede. Master Child has gone missing. On top of that, the contacts and guards we bribed at the fortress have all gone quiet as well.
Probably the handiwork of that Wriothesley.
I'm afraid so.
This is a good opportunity. The value of a Harbinger is much higher than most would imagine. We now have an excuse to exert diplomatic pressure on the Fontaine authorities. Set up a meeting for me. I would like to meet the Hydro Archon and Iudex Neuvillette. Oh, and I have an additional mission for you three.
Yes, Father.
Tartaglia's disappearance was not a part of my plan, but I can use it to make a breakthrough. With this as my excuse, I can ask for an official audience and continue my investigation of Farina and Iudex Neuvillette.
Interesting.
The belongs to the House of the Hearth. My wish to investigate the fortress of Meripede will be a front. Lenny and his group will be responsible for the actual intelligence gathering. You should know the rest. Lenny's group is quite close to you, so they wouldn't have hidden anything from you.
Put a pause on that. So, Alekino said the knave, Farina has a curse placed upon her. The only group of individual that could be as powerful to place a curse on an Archon, honestly, would be the Hexen Circles. Alice and Gold, I don't remember all of their names, but the Hexen Circle sisters. Because they were once able to rival Venti, which we all know Venti is not as powerful as they used to be, but Farina is a little bit more depending on when the curse actually applied and how she was before. Maybe on the same level of Venti in terms of power of the Archon. That's the only other person or groups our group from the Hexen circles. Like I could see that they can apply the curse onto an Archon. Other than that, who else has the power to do it? I don't know.
You attacked the Hydro Archon?
It wouldn't mean anything, even if you shouted it from the rooftops. After all, even Farina herself is still pretending that nothing of that sort ever happened.
Alright then.
I've now had 2 chances to enjoy tea with Farina. I have to say, the leadership of Fontaine is even more inscrutable than I had imagined. I once surmised that Iudex Neuvillette must be the Hydro Archon, but now, that doesn't seem right to me either. I am a servant of Her Majesty the Tsaritsa. Over my years of service, I've learned how a real Archon conducts and carries themselves. Whether Iudex Neuvillette or Farina, neither fits the bill. It's hard to imagine either of them as the Archon. Of course, that is all just how I feel. Gut feelings often do not require justification. It is, however, quite amusing to me that after all my years working in intelligence gathering, I've come to realize I am at a complete loss regarding the identity of the god of the land of my birth. Don't you think Fontaine is quite intriguing? A catastrophe looms, yet many secrets have yet to rise to the surface. It looks like Fontainians will have no choice but to save themselves. Ultimately, though, one must survive in order to do anything else. Should the need arise, I would be happy to cooperate with you. You don't need to commit to anything right now, of course. I have a feeling that the situation will continue to evolve, and as your name is often connected with noble deeds, I'm sure we will work together someday. He certainly returned quickly. You must want to catch up with each other, so I'll leave you to him.
Neuvillette, is it over?
For now.
Yes. But this issue will prove quite thorny in the long term. I'm concerned that sooner or later the prophesized events will occur. Thank you for protecting Farina. To put it simply, I used my power to force back the Primordial Sea and reseal the sluice gate. So as expected, the Knave has turned up the pressure on Farina. She's trying to feel her out, though I'm still unsure as to her motives.
I'm assuming we're going to ask him about who's the Hydro Archon.
Permission granted.
Sure, let's just say.
It can't be that you're the real Hydro Archon, right? But that's just a speculation on our part, though. You can't tell us? Then that's okay. We can talk about something else. We won't try to force you. You guys in Fontaine are super strange.
If by the phrase, you guys, you are referring to Farina and I, then although I'm not sure just what you are trying to imply, I must clarify that I do not share her positions on a multitude of topics.
Yes, in a sense. So if you look at it, more evidence points towards Neuvillette being the Hydro Archon himself, just because we all know Traveler shares some sort of kit design based on the Archon themselves. We haven't seen Farina's kit or anything of her skills and her abilities, but based on what currently we're seeing with Neuvillette, the Hydro Beam, the burst dealing... Well, the burst is not really too much similar, but Traveler has like those machine gun orbs that keeps just shooting out, similar to Neuvillette's Hydro Beam that bursts out, hitting roughly 8 times. Same thing with the Traveler, I think. They also have the, I think it's called the Dew Droplets. I could be wrong. They have the same thing. I don't know if Traveler's Dew Droplets, or the drops that she leaves onto the field, works with Nuvolet's bursts and elemental charge attack. I don't have access to that to test it out, but someone might, and I might look into it and see if actually that's the case. If Nuvolet can use Traveler's Dewdrops, I don't know. More evidence is pointing towards him being the Hydro Archon for sure. But then why would he need a figurehead, Farina, to be the Hydro Archon? Maybe he doesn't want to take the role of it, the Hydro Archon? I don't know. I still prefer Farina over as Hydro Archon for whatever reason. Okay, no, that's gonna be a little bit too much, because always the dragon and the Archons are different. I was thinking in my head that Nuvolet and Farina was once the same person / creature, and the curse split them into two, where one became Nuvolet, the other one became Farina, which kind of makes more sense in a way, just because Farina is more timid, Nuvolet is more confident. There's something weird going on with the relationship. We're gonna figure it out as we go along with Archon Quest for sure, but I'm highly intrigued.
I believe so. The fortress has a long and complex history. It has seen much grief and suffering. And now, another catastrophe will soon be upon us. I mourn this turn of events.
Huh? Why is it raining all of a sudden?
Said when a Hydro Dragon cries, right?
You may be closer to the truth than you think.
Yep.
And what are you thinking?
He is the Hydro Dragon. Okay, give me 1 second. I see a Google opinion reward popped up, and I don't know, I just like to do them. Doesn't take much time. Okay, that's done there. Let's go again.
The dragon of... what? Huh?
Please do not be so surprised.
He is the Hydro Dragon.
Farina?
Nuvolet, are you listening?
My apologies.
We were just guessing randomly. We didn't guess right, did we? You're not actually the dragon sovereign of water, right? Well, if you don't want to confirm or deny...
You guessed correctly. I sincerely hope you'll be able to keep this a secret for me.
Right, of course. We'll definitely help you keep it a secret.
Not Paimon.
There's still something Paimon wants to ask you, though.
Please, go ahead.
Well, if you are the dragon sovereign of water, and you were able to force back the primordial sea from the fortress, then since Fontaine's prophecy is all about seawater, couldn't you just use your power to solve the crisis?
None of the currently living dragon sovereigns in the world, myself included, possess our full dragonhood.
None. So that includes the Valen, Azdaha, We don't know about the Electro one. I think the Electro one died. Raiden probably killed it. Apep is still there. And now we have Neuvillette.
They say that when the first usurper arrived on Tivat, they seized a part of the dragon's power. Today, that stolen power is the basis of the Archon's authorities.
There are 7 elemental Archons and 7 matching dragon sovereigns.
The dragon sovereign of water who lived through that era perished a long time ago. As their successor, I know far less of that part of our ancient history. In any case, I believe I will not be able to do much unless the Archon disappears and returns their elemental authority to me. Given the status quo, however, I would recommend finding another way to deal with the prophecy.
Really?
Oh, so even you can't solve it.
I still have some urgent matters to attend to at my office. If you have any more questions regarding ancient history, you are welcome to discuss them with me at a later time.
Please go right ahead. There's a place that Paimon wants to go too. Traveler, why don't we pay another visit to the Fortress of Meripede? Paimon is a little worried.
I don't want to go to the...
We'll see you another time.
I want to go see what Farina is up to. Farina went somewhere along this path. Is she up here? I highly doubt she's over here, but... She came out and walked around, I'm assuming. She might not be here, but it'll be nice of a story tidbit if she's here.
Sucks that I got so much work to do.
Okay, unless I'm missing her somewhere, I don't think I see her anywhere. We gotta go see our friend.
You guys are back?
You guys didn't get caught and thrown back down here, right?
Huh? No, not at all.
Here I thought you'd managed to escape from jail during all the commotion. I'd held you up as legendary jailbreakers, but now you're telling me you just never left?
We're sorry, but we just had some business to take care of.
All right. There's no need to get caught up in the details. We're just relieved to see you. He was super worried about you, you know.
Hey, it wasn't just me. Weren't you super worried as well?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
I was also transferred to work in the kitchen a few days ago. I can still hear Quisto mumbling to the carrots. Are those two all right? Do you think they made it out alive? Whenever he'd say that,
Gusto.
tell him I'm sure they're fine. Wherever they are, they're kicking back with drinks in hand, enjoying the lovely scenery.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with worrying about your prison pals, is there? I mean, considering how they always love listening to all my gossip.
These two. They sure are a lot warmer and friendlier than when Paimon first met them.
Oh, well, if you say so. I'll be watching you to make sure you finish every last bite.
Don't worry, my friend. I got you. Okay, over here would be... Can I get a free meal? Okay, let's see what we got this time around. Survey says use garlic baguette. Okay. Siege Wayne.
Traveler, Paimon, you're back! Are doing all right? Did either of you get hurt?
We're good.
But what about you guys? It was such a huge mess. How bad was it? A few people sustained superficial injuries, but that's about the extent of the damage. Monsieur Nervulette paid us a visit. It was all thanks to him that we managed to suppress the crisis for the time being. Of course, we must also thank you for the help you provided. How did Nervulette know that he was needed here? Well, Monsieur Nervulette has strong resonance with the hydro element. When the water level rises, he can feel the waves produced. I ran into the bombshell bros while bandaging the injuries of the wounded. They were mumbling the whole time about how you just ran down without a word. I'm so relieved to see that you're both alright. If you're not too pressed for time, please stay with us a few more days. Just let me know if you get a craving for any particular dish, so I can have Mr. Walsey get your meals prepared. Oh, and please feel free to visit the infirmary for a break at any time. I'd like to take the opportunity to spend some more time observing your facial muscles as well. Your happy smiles are quite contagious, you know. They're so memorable, and I've missed them immensely while you were gone.
I don't know. It's a character change for sure. Let's go to the infirmary? Or we gotta go visit Lenny and Lynette. I don't think they're here. They might be here. I wanna leave. Wait. So we're going to the infirmary. This is where Lenny and Lynette are, right? Hope not, because then they're still here. So they came back after the evacuation? Like, weird.
Now guess, what suit will this next card be?
A bare-teethed cat?
Well, look who it is.
Traveler, Paimon.
Hey, siblings.
Hello, everyone.
Looks like you're recovering nicely, Fremine.
Mm-hmm. Thanks to everyone's support. Oh, right. I managed to work up the courage to thank Miss Clarant in person.
Whoa, how did she react?
She told me that it was nothing. It was as if saving a life wasn't a big deal to her at all. She also told me not to worry about it.
She didn't want to stress you out, that's all. She's right, and it's best not to dwell on it.
Yeah.
Okay, but check this out. We went back to the Opera House and we met the knave.
You met Father? Did she say anything to you?
She said a few things that were, a bit hard to understand. And also that she's looking forward to working with us in the future.
That was a little surprising.
Her attitude towards you is even better than what we'd imagined. That's fantastic. You should believe her. She has her own way of doing things, and she'll do everything in her power to help those she considers close, which now might also include you.
Mm-hmm. Father is very capable, and also trustworthy.
Oh, Paimon just remembered that she thought Lenny was a bit too proud as well. She said that you should learn how to rely on others sometimes.
Got it.
Huh. That does sound like something that Father would say.
Hey!
Are you going to stay here for the next few days?
Looks like
Probably not.
Excellent. I will host a tea party.
For real? Then Paimon wants another serving of cake.
Another implies that you were already served some delicious cake while you were up there. How lovely. Well, next time, you're going to have tea and snacks with us.
And then last but not least would be Rarsley. And Clarin, I'm assuming, is still in there. Knock knock. Oh, we're going down. Oh no, it's not. Wow.
Courier? Miss Sijween told me you still haven't eaten.
Yeah, I was working on something, so I forgot.
That's no excuse for... Huh?
So the two are a couple.
What's you two?
Hello there. It's been quite the mess here recently. How have you been?
And you? Are you still taking the secret passageway from the infirmary to work on the ship?
Yep. That is still top secret, though. So don't say a word to anyone.
It can be a bit annoying when there are lots of people in the infirmary, but I still prefer taking that route over the one from the Duke's office.
I mean, the infirmary does make it easier for you to slack off.
Oh yeah? Then why are you also here so much?
You two really are just using your jobs as a cover for your relationship, aren't you?
Not at all!
It's true. It's true. Okay, now we gotta talk to Ryersley. Okay.
Do my eyes deceive me, or did I just see two inmates come back after making it to the surface? Some strange winds blowing of late.
We wanted to see how the fortress is doing. Is everything still alright?
We're fine, for the most part. Neuvillette came down and took care of the worst of it.
If that's the case, why don't you just ask him to stay here?
Oh, yeah, what a brilliant plan. Let's go convince the Udex himself to exchange the Courts of Fontaine for a puddle of water in the middle of nowhere. He came here in a hurry and left without even stopping for a cup of tea. He did remember to take Miss Sijween's gift with him, though.
He sure sounds super busy.
Miss Cloran has left as well. She also took her gift from Miss Sijween.
Were the gifts milkshakes?
Neuvillette got the milkshake. Cloran received lipstick instead.
Those aren't even remotely alike.
Well, it's Neuvillette's own fault for making Sijween worried about his health by working so much. But besides that, our head nurse is still pretty fond of picking out beauty products for the ladies. Oh, and I have some gifts here for you as well.
Gifts?
Are these from Sijween too?
Nope, they're from yours truly. You've already wrapped up your work at the fortress, so you can return to the surface at any time. You haven't yet served your full prison term, however, so you may continue to use your cell until your term is up.
For real? Then we could stay here for a really long time?
Is the food still covered?
You may access the cafeteria for free.
Hooray!
Just remember to come complete your paperwork once it's time for your release.
Okay. So, we're almost to the end, I'm assuming. Let's just say... We don't have to, I don't think we have to leave, because we still have to get those tickets, the coupons, for the items.
We're back in our cell again. We're no longer prisoners, though, so it really doesn't feel the same. Sure feels that way. But the truth is, we never did anything bad to begin with, so I'm not sure why we put so much pressure on ourselves. Huh? How did you know? Hey, that's not true! Alright. Okay, Paimon just wanted to say that we really are an amazing duo after all. It's like, we've now gone to so many places together and become friends with so many people. We've never stopped traveling or stopped meeting new friends. There are so many bad things
Fair
in the
enough.
world, and we're just two people, but we've still been solving problems no matter where we go.
Because no one else could do it.
You're counting Paimon today? Aren't you the only adventurer here?
Being a guide counts too.
To give Paimon an adventurer handbook as well. Paimon will also be an adventurer from today forward.
Let's do it. We'll get more rewards. We'll get double rewards. Do it, Paimon. Do it. Go talk to Catherine.
Just our thoughts making Paimon giddy. Paimon's gonna crash, so you sleep soon too. The last time we fell asleep here, we woke up to a whole mess outside ourselves. The primordial seawater nearly rose up. That was so scary. We should be safe now, right? Alright then, good night to you, traveler.
Is this time we're gonna see a clip for Child, or just gonna be the end of the quest? Is there gonna be two options? Either we see Child in our dream, or is the end of the quest? It's Child. Whoa! Okay. That's the end of the quest. Okay, first things first, since it's actually the end of the quest, yesterday I still didn't use all my resin, so even up until today, I did not use my resin, so I'm still maxed out at 5, unfortunately. I am going to head to doing the commission in... Sorry, not a commission. Fontaine... The books. Well, since we didn't pull New Valette, we're going to try to level up some other characters to 90. I just have to figure out who again. As I said, I was contemplating between Ayato or Beidou.
As one with wind and cloud.
Speaking about, I should actually try to level up my second Staff of Homa. Off we go to Mondstadt, craft the 1 condensed resin, then head back to Fontaine, farm the domain. Okay, that's gonna at least put back the resin on the cooldown. Sorry, on the timer to gain back resin. Is there anything I should do here? Nope, we're good. Special, nope, that's fine. Okay. Adventure books. Commissions, okay. So, let's just see. So, if we claim this, can we still do the commissions? We cannot do the commissions. Do we get 40 gems from that though?
Wherever in this world I roam, I carry memories of my home. This blade. It is
Ad Astra. Thank you for complete.
If we only get 10 gems on it, I just lost Primo gems. Which... not the best feeling. It doesn't pop up to the side that Because the commissions are all gone. Right? Yeah, all of the commissions are gone. Okay. So we got... You could obtain 4 commissions reward. Sorry, usually ones obtained, blah blah blah. Okay, I'm going under the assumption it's the same. My other assumption would be tomorrow I might do 3 commissions before I claim and see how it works that way.
Time to go.
Okay, that's that. Sorry about that. Off to Fontaine. No. I do want to see what character I want to build first. I definitely think the showcase I did with Hu Tao could be a lot better just because Sucrose is not 90 as well as Mona is not 90. So who do I want to take up? But that's a question. Who do I want to take up? Maybe Sucrose then? It's Sucrose, Beto. It's not the best set that I have for Beto on Beto currently, but I do have to put in a bit more work for Beto. This is what I need to do. I still need 20. Plus the materials. That's still a grind. Okay, what else can I do? The pain of Diluc. Should we do Hazel? If you do Hazel, Fischl, Xingqiu, Beto, maybe, for 4-star. Possibly. What do you need? You need the Rune Fang, Celestial Serpent. Do I dare try to take up Kale? Kale is Constellation 2. I wouldn't mind leveling up Candace. Candace, I really like her design. Her playstyle isn't... I haven't seen much T that I could use her in, but... Okay. Let's just level up Beta, why not? Okay, once a day we're gonna have to go take on the Electro Hypostasis again. The minimum time we could do it is 10, depending on if we only get the worst of luck and collecting 2 materials. Hopefully we don't get that bad of a luck with the hypostasis, the drop rate at least. But you never know.
Wind Strider.
Nice and spicy.
Gloves off!
One with nature.
Okay, and then we do the Shang Ling.
Let's light it up! Look alive!
Okay, we got through right out the rip. Nice. Pretty bad flower, but that's okay. So the best that we could do is, I think 7. If we get all 3, because then it was 7 through 21. Which is actually not that bad. Versus me doing 10, but it'll probably be 9 I might have to do with my luck. But get Beto up, then I'll try to see who I'm going to focus on next. So within 9 days from now, Beto should be level 90.
Into the wind.
Teamwork is dreamwork!
Clouds high. The birds call.
You're dead meat!
Other than that, I should also... Yeah, I need to farm the Nocturnal Jade for her as well. Because I don't have a lot, so I have to get it to reset.
Look alive! Hi! Let's light it up! Booba, get them! Let's light it up! Teamwork is... You asked for it! Let's
Big
put it on!
damage, 35k. I still would have much prefer a Constellation for Dia. Even though I would not activate the Constellation for Dia, I still would prefer it to have it ready to go. I think when I hit C6 Dia, then I'll probably unlock all the Constellation all at once. But until then, I didn't see the necessarily need for it. These are some bad rolled artifacts, damn.
Adventure time!
Okay, because I'm just gonna be farming these artifact domains and everything else. I think we should end it there, and I will be back another day because it's just gonna be more tedious stuff I'm gonna be doing, and I don't want to be streaming going on too long. It's already been close to 3 hours almost, so we're gonna end it there. Have it there be for right now. Quest. Let's see if there's anything pop up with events. If any new event, there is a new event. Ooh. There is a new event. There is Wishes event. Okay. There we go. Make sure you guys grab your anniversary reward. So you get 10 wishes in total. You get 16 days to claim it. So there should be enough time to log in 7 times within that 16 days. There's the Radiant event. So that's something we'd have to do as well. Earn more Primogems. Speaking about... I still haven't... Okay, let's unlock New Valette. Okay. We are going to have to knock out quests. So whenever I'm back on live, we're just going to be doing quest after quest after quest. Not really exploration, just quests. More so story quests. I want to knock these 3 out because I don't want to get in... There is a commission that would happen one time, and I had to restart the game just because I didn't want to start by those quests. So we're gonna try to knock out, I think Baiju's quest is first and then Yomiya. Could be wrong. Whichever one's first, I might do that. I have to look at it. But needless to say, that's the plan for right now. Next time I'm live, depending on if it's a main event or not, like obviously if it's a main event, I'm not gonna be doing quests. I'm just gonna try exploring the main event. This small event like this Radiant Harvest one, I'm probably gonna knock that out by itself. And then the Abyss should be reset as well, so there's stuff to do. I will try to do the exploration off screen as much as I can. I do need to build back up my Primogem count because, as I said, spend 13,000.
Paimon wonders what he's been up to. Paimon has so many questions about his true identity. Let's go talk to him and find out.
Yeah, I spent close to 13,000 Primogems just trying to get Nuvalet and a HP scaling sword. Did not get Nuvalet, did not get the HP scaling sword. Did pull the Staff of Homa though, which is actually pretty decent. So, yep, as for that, I'm gonna end it there. Thanks everyone for tuning out, and I will catch you guys not over the weekend, probably on Monday, maybe Tuesday. We'll see how it goes. Everyone take it easy for now.